Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt. Over there is my co-host, Adam Glyn. On today's episode, we are going to dive deep into some of the masters of publicity. These are the people that we just can't seem to ever stop talking about because they're so good at puppeteering the narrative surrounding their lives. You know, you see a lot of celebrities come and go in Hollywood, and then there's some that you're like, I can't get away from them. And it's because they are so good at PR. These are the people that are in your face all the time. They've basically normalized their place in pop culture. Every time you get onto Instagram, they're there. This is not something that is by accident, you guys. This is well scripted knowledge, how to manipulate Hollywood. We want to get into those people. We're talking Kim Kardashian, Kristin Cavallari, Taylor Swift. We've got a big old list, and it is not limited to those people, but those are some of the people that we will definitely be talking about today because they're just so good at staying relevant and being in our face at all times. Adam, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I wonder if this is something that's happened in the last decade or if this is something that was happening about 30 years ago. Now, granted, 30 years ago, there was no social media, so there was less chances to be in your face. You could be more private. The only way you could be in someone's attention is if you ended up in a news outlet. But now these people control your algorithms. They control the billboards you see when you go to work. They control what you watch on TV. You know, they're influencers. The word influencer is sort of like a vague statement these days because everyone could say they're an influencer, but these people
Right.
somehow influence the market to make sure that we do not stop talking about them, whether it's good or bad. They don't care because they're cashing checks. Actually, the reason I want to get into this a little bit is because there's one celebrity out there who I think is kind of making a comeback, and not saying this person fell off, but we're talking about this person again. The celebrity I'm talking about is Madison Beer. Now, okay. Madison Beer is a celebrity who I don't think some of our audience might not know she is. She is a singer. She's a songwriter. She's a model. Very pretty girl. She's from New York.
Big influencer, though. I would say big influencer does work with her in this narrative.
Yeah, she's 26. She's 26 years old. She sort of got, she got some press early on in her age when Justin Bieber shared one of her song singing covers on Twitter. Justin Bieber shared one of her singing covers on Twitter, which led to like a huge following for her on social media. She kind of came up during the social media heyday. With that, she kind of released her own music. She kind of came out with her own EP, and recently she's done one album. I think it was 2021. And she's known for a strong media presence, fashion influence, openness about mental health. She's sort of like Lana Del Rey, Ariana Grande, and Rihanna.
And just transparent, she's got 40 million followers on Instagram. She's not like a little personality. She's huge on social.
She's huge on social. Again, like I said, very pretty girl. With that said, I don't think a lot of people know her. Now, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I think we were talking about her a lot.
After we just said 40 million people follow her, not many people know her.
I don't think a lot of people know her because 40 million followers, how many bots are following her? I don't think how many people are following her just because she looks good, not for her talent. I'm not saying she's not talented. I'm just saying a lot of people are following her because they just are into her, everything about her. I think there's some dudes that aren't really maybe a fan of her music. They just think she's pretty. Mm-hmm. And I think that's totally fine. I think there are a lot of people though that are into her music or into her lifestyle, that they want to follow her career. But then also I do feel that there's a lot of bots in that 40 million. So I do think actually if we took a poll on our private Facebook group off the record, do you know who Madison Beer is? I don't think a lot of people know who Madison Beer is. Now, granted, our audience is big between 24 and 54. I think that's sort of our demographic.
I'm going to do the poll right now. I'm going on to Off the Record private Facebook group. If you're not in there, feel free to come join. This is where we talk directly to you guys if you have questions or comments. So I'm going to put up, do you guys know who Madison Beer is? ? All right.
See,
it's going up.
If people know who she is, I will be very, very surprised. And I'm not saying she's not a celebrity. She is. She's talented. I'm not taking anything from that. However, I feel like the competition is getting so much stronger now. So she needed to kind of step up. So now, if you've seen in the photos of all the gossip blogs this past week, she's been seen with the LA Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. He's 27, she's 26. It looks like they're dating. They're kind of together. It looks romantically. I got to be honest with you, the shots, the photos, they look set up. Now, I don't think Justin's setting it up. He could be, but I would think it's, I don't think he's mad at being seen at this. It's good for both of them.
It's great
I'm not saying it's great for both of them. I'm not saying this is a thirst move by any means. Like, she's using this because she needs that attention. But I do think she's at the point in her career where she realizes, hey, this is good for business. He's at the point in his career where he realizes this is good for business. Yes, there might be some attraction there, but they both know that this is good for business. The people she's dated in the past is Nick Austin. Do you know who Nick Austin is, Dax? No, you don't know. He's a TikTok star. He was Zach. She dated Zach Bia, who's sort of like this socialite in the scene. A lot of people don't know who Zach Bia is, even though she was friends. It's never confirmed that she was with Brooklyn Beckham, but she hasn't dated a celebrity yet. And now it's the start of football season. She's dating the quarterback of the LA Chargers. This move is good for business. I do think, I don't have any confirmation. I do think these photos were set up in some sort of way. I'm not saying Madison herself called it paparazzi, but I would think someone on their team might have called the paparazzi and said, hey, these two are going to be going to dinner. They're going to, I don't know. I think they're shot like at the beach. It was just sort of like
because I can tell you,
unique spot where they were shot.
Are not camped outside of Madison Beer or Justin's house. They're just not paparazzi targets like that. This had to have been tipped off for them to know where these two were going to be walking around in LA. It's not a coincidence. I'll tell you that much.
But like I said, she's at the point of her career. She's 27. It's like now or never. Now is the time where you really need to go hard. And it is competitive. There's a lot of competition out there. What's better than dating the quarterback of an LA NFL team right before the start of the NFL season? So you'll see her at a lot of games, I'm sure. This is a good business move. Now, again, it's not thirsty. This is business. I'm sure there's some attraction there. Listen, he's a good-looking guy. She's a good-looking girl. I'm sure. But yet again, they know it's good for both of them. So it just works out.
I think Madison, she may not have made our list today of masters of PR. However, I think she is one person that down the road we will be talking about in this category because she has in the past done numerous things to keep herself relevant and keep herself talking. She's just not at a level that is going to make our list yet, but I think this is the playbook right here.
So I got a funny story about her, and I believe it was her. This happened years ago. This was probably about 8 years ago, maybe even longer, 9 years ago. I got a call from someone, and I'm pretty sure it was Madison, but I can't confirm. But it was someone from her team saying Madison wanted to really go to this club in New York City. Problem is, she wasn't 21 years old. Can you get her in? And I was like, I maybe could call a few people, and I called a few people, and I think it was Madison. I'm pretty sure it was her, but I don't want to confirm it and I don't have the text message to prove. But they said, listen, she could get it. We'll let her in the club, but she has to go to the restaurant before, the sushi place that the owner of the club also owns, and post or do a story about the restaurant. And she was like, okay, I guess they're like they're like, okay, we'll do it. She went to the sushi restaurant with her and her friends, and then they went to the club after. Problem was, she never posted. And I think that she had like an expensive meal too. And they're like, dude, you never gave us the post. Like, what's up? I'd like hound them. Like, dude, this is messed up. Like, I was doing you guys as a favor. I'm not getting anything out of this. And it took like 3 weeks to get like the post of like the restaurant that she went. But
that's crazy.
Was my experience with that.
But it's true. It's like if you're gonna get the comp, you need to whatever the if it's a post, do the post. If it's a payment, do the payment. You gotta fulfill your side of it though.
So I do some consulting on the side for a company. I don't want to say which one, but because they're not a sponsor, and we're just But I help them out a little bit with celebrities, and with that, I get celebrities' product in exchange. They do an Instagram post, And it used to be where we would, it wasn't really gifting because it was high priced items, but we would give to them at a good discount where, it's a really good discount. Some actually we used to give a few for free in exchange for posts and some more stuff on social media, but mostly it was for like large discounts. And we went to celebrities. All right, you got to post within 60 days. They never posted. And I wound up chasing these people down, being like being like a dick to these people. Like, dude, do your post. Like, that's messed up. It's not right. And especially for me, because my job is on the line. Like, I'm being nice to you, extending you this discount. Just give me the post that you're supposed to do. And I got into it with a few people. Like, this is not cool. This is not right. And now what we had to do, because all these celebrities were so bad when it came to posting what they were supposed to do and taking advantage of it, that I basically said, all right, well, you have to pay in full and you receive the discount once you do the posting. Like, screw you, you guys all blew it for yourselves. You all took advantage of it. You're all dicks. And that's what we do now. So,
jeez.
Yeah, that's my rant of the day. All right, before we get to today's podcast, Dax likes to practice his reading. So what I do, I make him read reviews live on air because he really needs to practice his reading. He's working on it. His enunciation, his pronunciation, as you guys know, sometimes takes hits. So I like him to practice by reading out loud, and we walk him through it. So if you guys could give us some reviews to help Dax practice reading and pronunciating, that'd be really great. Dax, do you have a review?
I do.
Do you have a review ready for us?
I do. This one is from Mainly Goldens. The title is Get Rid of TMZ, which we don't need to do that. We can both be out here. It's a 5-star review. It said, I freaking love this show. Honestly, we can get the unimportant news on TV, social media, podcasts, etc. However, I truly enjoy how different Adam and Dax are. I love their personalities. I love the way they keep me engaged. I religiously listen to it twice a week, and I am on the Facebook page, which makes me feel a part of the large friendship group. I hope one day soon you are no longer so poor and you can make money doing this and get more famous people. I feel you. Thank you, Mainly Goldens. We also want that for ourselves. Now, we've had some pretty famous people on this podcast. Who do you think is the most famous person we've had on this podcast?
I mean, Tony Robbins, maybe. I was
going to say Kelly Osbourne.
Mark Cuban, Kelly Osbourne.
Don't you think Kelly Osbourne's more famous than all of them?
It depends. Like, Kelly Osbourne's not going to bring in, 60,000 people to watch her speak. But, Mark Cuban, it depends what you say. I mean, Mark Cuban's also a billionaire, so he was, it's a unique thing. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's who's coming to mind right now. I
Kelly,
guess Tara Reid. Tara Reid's pretty damn famous.
I mean, we've had the Jersey Shore people that were at one point.
That's true. And we've had the Situation.
I mean, we've had Oprah on. We've had John Cena on. We've had Kevin Hart on. So, but not in studio. So,
that is true. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about what we're on here to talk about today. The people that know how to control the media. The reason I started even thinking about this was last week the news broke with obviously Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting engaged. It took over the entire news cycle for the day. Everyone was talking about it. People were freaking out. And I just started thinking how brilliant Taylor Swift really is. We are we are going into the NFL season right now. Kickoff's happening. And this news broke a week before NFL kickoff, which she's going to be going to the games. You know that she has been a huge supporter. She loves going to see the Chiefs play. But now the narrative all season is going to be, hey, look, Travis's fiance, Taylor Swift, is out watching him. She's also dropping an album. She's been slowly releasing all this album art. She waited until she was releasing an album to release the news of this engagement. Brilliant. And I just started thinking, she is, I would say, hands down, the number one person in my book personally that knows how to shape her image, stay relevant, continue to have people talk about her. She's able to switch up a narrative if things go south for her, like she did with the Kim and Kanye situation. She owns it better than anyone else. And that is kind of what got me thinking about who else is able to do that. When it comes to Taylor, Number one, she's like super direct to fans. Like she bypasses all the traditional media that like people have done in the past. She doesn't really utilize the publicist necessarily to get out her messages. She just goes straight to the Swifties on Instagram or whatever. And it creates this like illusion of intimacy and authenticity, making her the like primary source of her own content. That's what makes Taylor so good.
Yeah, no, she again, you saw that whenever I think it was Travis Kelce's father said the engagement happened 2 weeks ago. If I was a player on the team, though, if I was the owner of the Chiefs, would you want this kind of news right before the season and the headache that comes with it? Or does this like, hey, this is going to bring a lot of Swifties to games. I'm all about selling tickets and making the Chiefs the biggest team in the world. So I don't even care if we win a Super Bowl. This just makes it a really fun, good year overall for us. What would your thoughts be on that?
I think that she has been one of the best things to ever happen to the Chiefs, honestly. I know it sounds silly, but she's one of the best. Taylor Swift is one of the best things that happened to the NFL. And that sounds like a crazy ass statement, but she has brought so much attention and audience in that never cared about football, just to see her there. And you know, most of those little kids, her little Swifties, they never cared about a football player like they do for Travis Kelce. And I think the NFL has even credited her for bringing in a bigger audience. And I think that she has that power unlike anyone else. But going back to what she's been able to do media-wise, if you think about it, she always owns the conversation before anyone else does. So when she got attacked by the Kim and Kanye situation and she got labeled a snake, she ended up like reframing that narrative, embracing it, and then the snake became her moniker. And that was the whole idea of the Reputation era. And she, instead of like running away from controversy, she leaned into it and she monetized it. Like that is, it's like mind blowing to think about. Most people would be like, "Oh my God, they're getting attacked by two of the most famous people on the planet," and they would just go hide and never come out. And she didn't. And I mean, she hid away for a little bit, but during that time, she created an album and used all of that shit to her advantage.
Yeah, but here's my thing is, Dax, when you think of this and you think of all that strategy and business behind it, do you think who are the people making those decisions? Is it Taylor just doing it herself? Is there some inside internal publicists that work with her? Is there, like, do they all bring it back to the office and say, all right, what's the plan, the strategy to do this? Because, like you said, she's so good at controlling her image, adapting to change in media landscapes, and she's good at, like, engaging with fans and press. But actually, I wouldn't say she's good at engaging with fans and press, because we see her walk down the streets, like, it's just like a smile. She doesn't really take photos with people unless you're Teresa Giudice somehow at a Coachella concert. But, you know, like, even like the things when it comes to social media, she puts like these little, like, almost like hints that
the Easter
something's
eggs
happening. Yeah, the Easter eggs.
Easter eggs, yeah.
So, and the timing of everything. Like, who's making those timing decisions?
I think it's her, dude. I think she is the master behind it all. She controls how people perceive her, and I don't think there's anyone telling her behind the scenes, this is what I think you should do. She just knows. This is not something that you are taught. It's things that I believe that are literally inside of her. Like, if you think back to Paris Hilton, how she was so good at manipulating the press, I would say she taught Kim, but I don't think she taught Kim. I think that was already in Kim, how to lean into controversy, to lean into it's okay if people don't like you, because the more people that don't like you are talking about you, and the people that like you are talking about you. So that means everyone's talking about you. Either be super polarizing where people love you or hate you. Don't be in the middle, because then no one cares.
Yeah. Yes, it's funny because I'm part of this like social, like, not even social media. It's like a group of like writers and publicists where they kind of all kind of bounce ideas off each other and say, hey, I'm looking for this contact, or I'm doing a story on this. But I've noticed within the group the past week how many people are saying, hey, is there any ring experts there? And they want to study like the what the ring looks like and the value and the design, and that's going to be a trending design now for future rings. to announcements. Like there's all so many stories that are coming just from the announcement. Did you like the announcement, by the way? How they did it?
Whatever.
Did you like the caption?
Again, whatever. In my opinion, I don't care about the.
I think it could have been a better caption.
They probably could have been a better caption. My thought immediately was, did he tell her? Did she know? So that it could all be kind of like captured properly in an image that she would want to put out, right? Like, or does he just know her so well at this point that he's like, okay, I'm going to go all out and make this like enchanted forest look? Or did she have a say-so in the ring? Did she have a say-so in the way that this proposal was going to be captured? That's what I would be interested to know. Like, do you let her in on it?
We'll find out, because if you read the pamphlet in her CD, remember reading the books of CDs? When you get the CD and you go through the book, I'm sure we'll find out eventually all the details, but you don't, put everything out right away. How she tells us everything, I wonder how she tells us, whether it's in a ring, an interview, or if it's just on her. Does he say it on the Kelce podcast to bring in people? Because again,
I think this might be something they don't release out. Like, it's just going to be him getting the credit. Like, I think I saw a whole story about how he picked out the ring, he bought it, he designed it. But did he? Like, when you are so like, for a normal person, you are getting a ring and you think you know their style. For someone so famous that controls her image, do you have to let them in on it and say, hey, I want to get you a ring, but I also want to get you a ring that you're okay for billions of people to critique, on such a big scale, and let her in on that design process? I'm very curious about that. I kind of feel like she'd be in on it.
Who is another celebrity that you find very media savvy?
Oh, Beyonce. Beyonce for sure. I think Taylor number one, Beyonce number two in regards to how they control their narrative. And the only reason that I put Taylor first is because I feel that she talks directly to her fans. I think Beyonce speaks in more of a bigger platform. Like, she releases movies, she releases when she posts on social media, she's not necessarily talking to the fans. Like, Taylor puts captions. Beyonce doesn't normally put captions. She just puts up her photos. It is a way to connect directly to fans. It just feels less personal, I would say. I don't know. I don't know if that's a clear message, but I think
it's like I feel like in the last 10 years, dude, we haven't heard Beyonce talk. We hear her sing, but you never hear her talk.
She has complete control over her image. She doesn't really do interviews. We just don't hear it. And when she does communicate, like I said, it's like highly produced content. So it's the documentaries, the Instagram posts, the surprise albums. And so that would be the only thing, is that access that Taylor does directly to the fans, I think puts her one little step ahead. But I mean, they're both just masters of controlling that narrative.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce cares to be in the media every week or the news every week. That's just not her style, but also maybe personally just doesn't make her feel comfortable. I think she likes being private.
A little mysterious. And I think mysterious is good. I think I like
do too. I think mysterious it makes people curious. And I think mystery is, I agree. I think mystery is very cool. Especially if you're an older demographic, because I feel like me and you, we've been through both ways of celebrity. We've been in celebrities when celebrity's been more mysterious. Now we're around when there's so much in front of your face and you can't get them out of your head because they, again, algorithm driven. So I personally, I get both. I understand both, but I also do appreciate the mystery of some of these people, because it makes, sometimes they say don't meet your heroes. Yep. Maybe that's a little bit good for some of these people. Like, you don't want to get to know them too much. Like, they're almost like a myth to you.
Which is funny, because I would say Beyonce, you have the mystery, you have the allure. And then for the person who I think has flipped the script and does the complete opposite is Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is, I would say, the most open book. Like, her tactic really is being super transparent, letting the cameras film the good, the bad, the ugly, letting people in on when scandals are breaking and using that as essentially a currency in the media. And it's staying on social media and relentlessly pushing. She is the opposite of both Taylor and Beyonce, and that works for her. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I'll tell you this. I think Taylor is a bigger celebrity than Kim Kardashian. However,
of course.
I think Kim Kardashian is more media savvy than Taylor Swift. I also think she's also, I will say, a very good person from my experiences with her, but also a very, very emotionally intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
To go through some of the things that she's done, from obviously her father passing, who's like a famed lawyer, to the robbery that happened in Paris, to the to be honest with you, the shit she gets. I mean, how many people shit on Kim Kardashian all the time? It's not easy taking so much heat from people. People saying like, "What are you famous for? You're just, you know." But then again, she's got thick skin. She's been from the outside, looks emotionally stable. She's been a good parent from what it looks like to me, even during the tough times dealing with Kanye. It's like, no, she's able to kind of really stay the course. And I think Kim Kardashian overall is more media savvy than anyone. In fact, I would actually say change the game for everyone, where Kim K used to, and I think used to become a little bit of the laughing stock of Hollywood. Now the biggest stars in Hollywood are trying to befriend her because she's so business and media savvy.
And I think audience liked her because when you think of the word reality TV, most times it's not any type of reality. It's a lot of scripted content. And I think she made it reality. You would see her crying. You saw her marriages. You saw the demise of her marriages. You saw, the shit in between that most people would not want to air. The Kardashians were smart and said, it is our reality, so air this shit. And I'm not saying every moment of the Kardashians wasn't, was reality. I'm sure there was scripted stuff in there to keep the storyline going.
Content, yeah.
Yeah, but you would see it play out. You would see the news break, and then you would see a couple months later it on the show, and it was the perfect combination. I think in regards to, Kris Jenner, it makes my list as one of the best masters of publicity. I think that she is like the architect of the Kardashian family. Kim is really good, but then you have the momager, and she has been able to package her daughters into this billion-dollar empire and constantly use social media and stay relevant and push out each narrative. I mean, she runs that family, and that family, each little entity in their own, is a billion-dollar little entity. I mean, it is really crazy what they've been able to do, from one sex tape to being one of the most famous famous families in the world.
2 daughters that became billionaires. It's pretty impressive. And also what I find impressive with Kris Jenner, with all the daughters becoming as big as they are, somehow they've been able to kind of keep Rob Kardashian have a normal life. We don't see anything about Rob anymore. You don't hear about him. He didn't want to be part of that lifestyle anymore. And he's doing it pretty successfully. I'm surprised we don't see anything about Rob Kardashian. And good on him, and good for her to kind of keep that sort of quiet. So it's, again, the Kardashians used to be the laughingstock of Hollywood, even when it came to Caitlyn Jenner. I mean, so much has happened with that family. But from the outside looking in, I don't know what's going on inside.
You know what it comes down to with Kris is it's like she sees a PR opportunity in everything. It's like if there's no bad press, if you can monetize it, and she's leaned into that, and it's paid off really well. I would say Miley makes my list of someone who can control the narrative. She's always used shock value, rebellion, reinventing her stuff to mark each new stage of her career, from the Disney days, and then kind of like exploding out of that to becoming that edgy adult star, rock goddess. I mean, she's really smart with how she's been able to capture the world's attention and keep it for so long. And I think she's that unpredictable star, and that's why people like her, because you never know what Miley you're going to get. And so you tune in because you're like, what's she going to do today? Because I'm sure it's going to be interesting and fun and get people talking.
Yeah, she's always like trying to changing up her look just a little bit that makes you kind of stay with her. And I do say I've met a lot of celebrities. Miley is a star. There's just some inner confidence with her that you're like, oh, that girl, she owns the room when she walks in. Remember when she was hosting, I think it was the VMAs, and then Nicki Minaj, I believe, kind of came at her on stage, and it's live TV and the way she handled it. I was like, okay, like that was kind of a good move on her. She didn't like it didn't throw her off. She kind of, because obviously Nicki she knew what she was doing, but Miley sort of stayed very like, I'm not going to go down that route with you. It's just not worth it and give you what you want or something to help you and benefit you. So yeah, I think she's very good. Her music videos, they're always sort of risky just enough, especially coming from the Disney background. So
when she
played
swung
that
in on a wrecking
well.
ball naked, that was quite a change from her Disney days. But she knew, hey, I'm gonna cut off all my hair, I'm gonna bleach it, and everyone will be talking about it. And I remember at the time I was like, what the hell is she doing? And now I get it. I get it, Adam. It's just I didn't understand it back then. I didn't understand what would get people talking, and I appreciate her hustle so much more as the older I get. Beyond Miley, Kristin Cavallari, she makes my top 10 list for sure.
That's a big one.
Recently,
I think of all time.
Of all time. I think that she has mastered the post-villain life, coming from Laguna Beach and the hills, and instead of fighting the villain narrative, she really kind of like repositioned herself as that like lifestyle expert entrepreneur. She spun the mean girl perception into like this empowered, outspoken persona. She launched her jewelry line. And now she also uses her love life as a way to stay relevant at all times. Like people, for some reason, love Kristin Cavallari's love life. And she also doesn't shy away from talking about her sex life on a public forum. And I did not, like, if you would have asked me 20 years ago, do you think we'll still be talking about Kristin Cavallari in 20 years? I would have been like, no, she's a reality star that's going to come and go. Nope. I think the podcast was a great move for her. I think all of her dating and the people that she talks about, it really works for her brand.
She's very good on the I don't listen to the podcast, but I'll say she's very good at every day just releasing just a little bit. Every single episode, it's like, hey, I'm going to give you this other little tidbit or glimpse, and gets people sort of talking about her show. Now, granted, I don't know how many people hear the clip and go listen to the podcast. I'm sure there's some people that do, and which good on them. But she's good every week, giving that little thing where, okay, that's gonna be the what we call it, the clickbait. That's going to keep people clicking to come in. That's what I'm going to give to writers because I know they're going to pick up a story. And so I'd say, like in the past few weeks, she's very good at understanding the media landscape. Or her team.
It's not been weeks. It's been years and years that she has stayed relevant.
Yeah, you think she was staying really relevant when she was dating Jay Cutler?
She was still relevant, yes. And I think the fact that her name lived on beyond like Laguna Beach and stuff, that is a testament right there. And yes, her being with Jay Cutler, if you remember, that was a massive news story when they first got together and started having kids and then their divorce. Like all of it equaled us still caring about Kristin Cavallari.
But she kept feeding the media stuff. I mean, she knew what she was doing, which is not bad. This is what makes her media savvy. She was feeding the media with stuff. And now Jay finally spoke up and was like, hey, guys, I had a pretty long NFL career. I don't think, Kristin got all the money pretty much that she's – I wasn't asking
He basically
Kristin for
called her a liar the other day.
Yes,
and
said much. I think he said, like,
her reality is not my reality when it comes to the divorce and the payout. And she's saying she didn't get a dime. And again, she's talking, news covering her. She knows what to do. Smart.
Yeah.
Another person from Laguna Beach, I think that has
Stephen
also
Colletti. No.
has made my top 10 list is Spencer. And I would say Spencer and Heidi, but I think Spencer is the puppet master behind that whole situation. He learned early on, before reality had all of these villains, that villain is an interesting character. And if you lean in hard enough, there are going to be people that love the villain. People still love villains, right? At the end of the day, Spencer knew that. He turned being hated into a business model. And I think that was really smart. They both said, we can be publicity whores and it's going to get us headlines and it's going to keep us. And the more outrageous we are, the more people are talking about us, and the more our longevity in this realm will continue. And just, I think that was smart. They fed the tabloid stories. They got pictures. They set up paparazzi photos. They did everything to become this outspoken persona, and it fucking worked. And it's worked for 20 years for them.
Yeah, I think Spencer was ahead of his time. And I think he was so new to kind of doing what he was doing with paparazzi and the media that we weren't ready for it. Then all of a sudden comes 3 years later, Paris and Kim start doing it more. And, you know, they become sort of heroes from it. So I think Spencer was ahead of his time. In fact, Spencer told us on a podcast that Kris approached him about managing Kim. And again, he was ahead of his time, and I don't think we give him his flowers enough. He realized being a villain is good for TV. It's good content. And I think when business. When it comes to TV, it's very similar to like pro wrestling. You start to hate the villain for a little bit, and then you start to love the villain. We like the bad guy. You root for the bad guy. And he played into that role very well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we would be remiss not to bring up Paris Hilton in this conversation, because she really paved the way for a lot of the people on this list. I think she paved the way for Kim. I think she paved the way for Kristin Cavallari, and being someone who, yes, the sex tape went out and made her a global name, but the way that she embraced fame for being famous, and she was an open book and letting people into her life, and that wasn't a charted territory back when she did it. And doing a reality show and doing selfies and really utilizing social media, I think catapulted her fame unlike we had ever seen before. So she may not be on the top of this list right now, but I think that she deserves definitely a spot on this list.
100%. Is there anyone, we've mentioned a lot of females, Dax. I'm just out of curious, and we mentioned one male, Spencer. Is there one other male that you think is good at this?
I'm trying to think now. Oh, it's like these were the names that came to my mind right away, but like...
Yeah, I mean, obviously Spencer, but I'm like, is there another male?
I just feel like a lot of the guys don't play into it as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's certain guys who...
Pete Davidson?
No, because I feel like people care about his love life, but I don't think that
but
he
Pete's
is a
also
master
not on
of publicity.
social media. Pete's not good at social. He's not on social media. He's gone on, then he gets off. But he also gets us talking about him. So I think Pete understands that a little bit too.
I would say it's like I can't put Bieber in this category because I feel like a lot of his publicity is not necessarily for good reasons. I have a hard time thinking of any guys that I'd want to really add to this list. I mean, I think a lot of the most famous dudes on social, like Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, like they're more famous because of their talent, and people just like their talent, but not that they use the media to their advantage.
Okay. Very well.
I don't know.
All right. Well, listen.
I can't.
If you guys
I can't think of any.
If you guys have any celebrities that you think is a PR media savvy celebrity that doesn't get their flowers enough that we didn't even talk about, Let us know in our private Facebook group, Off the Record. I'm curious who you guys think that people you can't stop talking about because these people are so good at business. Let me know if you know who Madison Beer is as well. I'm curious about that. Check us out.
Let me check back into our. I'm going to check back in our Facebook group right now. Let's see if we got any responses to it. It's still pretty early.
It's still.
Oh, good. we got some comments. No, vaguely heard of her name. Says Victoria. Sienna, yes. I don't listen to her, but I hear about her. Hannah said yes. She's had a tough life. I root for her. Ashley said nope. Carolyn, see? Nope. Okay,
I told you guys. It's to me, know who's very like this in some sort of way? Jelly Roll. Okay, Jelly Roll is a celebrity, is a singer who I can't tell you any of his songs, but somehow everyone can't stop talking about Jelly Roll. He's in the WWE. He's like, I know he tours. I know he's got some fan base, but like everyone's like, I know who Jelly Roll is. Then I ask him, what's a Jelly Roll song? And it's, like they can't think of one song, but he's in your face a lot. Again, check out our private Facebook group, Off the Record. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.